Why is Dela telling us this? Like, we don't even care. And then there'd be this white stuff all over it. I'm like, why? What is it? Like, when I was doing this video and I opened up a couple of my clothes, I was like, oh, come on. And raining season in Ghana is just not a nice time in general. So when it rains, floods down and into your house and starts to flood it. And then what you would hear is you would hear the frogs in the back. You would hear whatever noise it is that they make, you know, the quack, quack, quack. People, like, you don't tend to get those sicknesses that we have in the UK where it's flu season. Hey guys, welcome back. All right. Now today's video is very, very impromptu. I hadn't actually planned on doing this video today at all, but it just kind of came up and I was like, you know what, let's just like roll and let's just get this done. Now you can probably hear that I'm not 100%, I'm not feeling 100% well. I don't feel sick, but I'm a little bit bunged up. Now you might be wondering, why is Dela telling us this? Like, we don't even care. The reason I'm telling you this is because there's something that I want you to understand. And I don't believe anybody else has really spoken about this, but I've decided to speak about it today because I feel like it's an important thing to do. Now, within Ghana, you know, we have different seasons for different things, right? So right now in Ghana, it is raining season. Now you might think, okay, it's raining season. We all know about raining season in Ghana, Dela. Yes, you know about raining season, but I need you to understand the effects of what the cold weather does to us. Now, the other day, I tried to record a video. I sat here in front of the camera and I started recording. I shot 2 videos that day, actually. When I went to do the second one, I had this almost fit in the middle of the video, right? Where I've had it in the UK a few times where it's like there's pollen in the air and so my nose becomes very, very itchy. I was fine for the first video. The second video, no. I literally barely made it through the video because my nose was just set off. I think that's probably like one of the worst experiences that I've had. And I just couldn't stop it. After I finished the video, then it calmed down and it went away and it hasn't come back. Thank God, please don't come back. But it was really, really bad. And one of the things I want you to understand is that when it is raining season here, not only do you get sick, but other things happen within the house. Now, your clothes, items within your household begin to get something, I would say is mildew/mold. And that's not even because, I can't say that upstairs here I have damp issues. And it's not even the house. It's not the house. I've seen it happen before where when we first moved to Ghana, some 11 years ago, we rented this property. And what happened was I would open up the wardrobe and then there would be this like funny smell. This only during rainy season, there'd be like this funny smell and it smelled kind of like musty, kind of like old. I'm like, why does it smell like that? Okay, you know what? I'm going to leave the wardrobes open. So you'd leave the wardrobes opened and you'd still get the smell. And then every now and again, I'd go in to take an item of clothing out. And then there'd be this white stuff all over it. I'm like, why? What is it? Like, I really didn't know what it was. And so I had a house help at the time. I'd be like, can you wash this again for me? So she'd be washing. And what I realized is that over the years, this thing never goes away. Every time it's cold outside, it affects your clothes and things within the items. So let me just say, it doesn't just affect your clothes, all right? But it does affect your clothes predominantly is where you'll see it the most. Now, even though I wash my stuff in the washing machine and I dry it in the dryer as well, and so I make sure that it is dry, it still comes back. So even clothes that have been like very, very well washed and you've let them dry until it is bone dry, you can fold it up, put it away. You go to open it a few days later and you'll see white stuff all over it. As I said, I didn't plan to do this video, so I don't have an item here with me, but I'll get some for you. And the reason I decided to do it today was because I was looking for something to wear when I was doing this video. And I opened up a couple of my clothes. I was like, oh, come on. Like, it's everywhere. And it's like, so right now, during this season in Ghana, you have to be continuously washing your stuff, continuously washing it. And it's not even the fact that, oh, maybe it's because the stuff is in the wardrobe, it's packed tightly. No, I've taken stuff out and I've put it, like, I've laid it in piles so to give it like breathing space. It still comes. And you'll see it predominantly on your white stuff. So trousers, tops, anything like that. Even I have caps that are round. I just bought a cap when I was coming from the States of just a plain black cap. I've worn it a few times here. I went to go look at it the other day and it's got white stuff all over it. I'm like, oh man, why? Like, why? It happens every single time. And so it's happened to me in different places that I've lived, not just this one house. So for those of you that are going to come say, oh, it must be in your house. No, it's so many different houses. And I know so many people, it does happen to them. And so I've never had it to the point of it looking like mold where it's also turning green. I've never had it like that. Perhaps maybe I've never let it sit that long before. But definitely there's almost like a white film in it, and you can smell it as well. So if you pick up your clothes, even if you can't see it, you could smell it. And I think that maybe that's what happened yesterday when I was set off doing the video, because I put something on and perhaps the starter of that is what set me off. I don't know. But it did stop, like the whole nose itching thing. But it's just very annoying that you go to put something on, and even though it's clean, fresh out of the machine, you're still going to get this white stuff. So it's almost like during the season, your washing machine just is continuously going, and it's really, really annoying. And it can happen on different things. It doesn't just happen on clothes. So it can happen. So even I have a little bit here. I tend to wipe things down. So I've seen it on some of the doors in the house. I've seen it over here where my fridge is hidden. There's a little bit there. I'll see if I can show it to you after when I finish filming this. But it does come and it's really irritating. So I've tried to search and find out, how do I combat this thing? Like, I know as soon as it starts to get cold, I know I'm going to fight this thing. Every single year I've had to fight this thing, and it's really annoying. So one of the ways that you can help is to make sure there's a lot of ventilation going through your property. And so what that means is, so I open up all the windows in my bedroom, make sure there's airflow, make sure nothing is stagnant, nothing is too like piled up, you know. I've even tried to use those, you know, those things that you find in like shoe boxes, or when you buy new clothes. I can't remember what it's called. You know those little ball things, and it's in a paper and it says, do not eat, right? I put those sometimes in between my clothes to hopefully, like, if there's moisture, it will suck up the moisture or whatever. But yet still, I still get the same issue. Like, you can hear, like, there's noise in the background because I've opened up the windows. So I just had this massive, like, I'm not going to say panic attack, that's a bit extreme. But the windows, if you don't close the window, you know, if you have like double glazed windows, if you don't open them all the way, it's a design fault. If you don't open them all the way or close them all the way, you get bugs that can go in between the two panes, not the two panes of glass that together, but the two windows that slides across each other. So if you don't open them all the way so that there's no way for the bug to get into the house, it can get through the gaps. But anyway, it's hard to explain. But it's hard to explain. Those that get it. Those that don't, okay, doesn't matter. So yeah, so that it's like one of these seasons where it's very irritating trying to get rid of this mildew. And raining season in Ghana is just not a nice time in general. It's really not, because one of the things that happens is that, you know, it's not like the UK where when it rains, you know, it drizzles for the whole day. It's just gloomy, it's glum outside. It's not really like that here. It can rain really heavily and the place is just flooded. And then sometimes it dries up, and then by afternoon, you won't even know that it even rained that day. Like, if you didn't see it or you didn't hear it, you wouldn't even know that it rains. But it can rain quite heavily here. Now, when it rains, guess what happens? Some places get flooded. I'm sure you've seen the videos going around on social media where people's houses have been flooded. That is a very real thing that does happen here. And I'll tell you the reason why some of these houses get flooded, okay? It's not necessarily even always to do with the construction of the building. Sometimes it's where the building is located. So what happens is, if you have some of these older houses especially, right? People have built their houses before the road has been done. So they come and they build their house like this. And then years later, what happens is they come and build a road. Now, they don't just build the road so it matches your house. They build the road up a bit, right? Because there's things that they have to put in before they can come and even do tarmac. So now when they've done the road, they've built the road up here. So guess what happens? The water, when it rains, floods down and into your house and starts to flood it, because now your house is below. You know, that's why you don't build at the bottom of a hill unless you have precautions in place. So the rainwater literally comes from the road and down into your house. Now, if you have gutters in front of your house, then the gutter will help, because the gutter can help, you know, disperse some of the water. But even that, you know, gutters here in Ghana, sometimes they get choked. And if it gets choked, the overflow is just going to go into your house and it's going to cause you a problem. And so you don't want that. So it's really important that, in fact, during rainy season is the best time to go house hunting. This is the best time. This is not the time to be lazy. This is the best time to go house hunting, because when it rains, it exposes like literally everything that there is to know about a house. It will expose it. I remember when we first came to Ghana, we rented this property in Adenza. And what would happen is, again, we had this, as I said, we had the same mildew thing happening in the wardrobes. I couldn't understand it. But when it rains, also what would happen is the back of the property where there was grass, so there was grass at the back of the house and on the sides of the house too. But for some reason, the back of the house, when it rained, it would soak so much water. And I'm not talking about just, you know, a little bit of water, you know, where, you know, in a few hours or whatever, it would dry. No, no, no. The sides would dry fine. Like, it's rained, of course it's going to be wet. But the back would be flooded to the point where you could see the water on top of the grass. It was so bad. You wouldn't be able to use that area for maybe like a week. You'd have to wait for the water to drain away and the grass to get dry. It was the most ridiculous. It was so annoying. And then what you would hear is, you would hear the frogs in the back. You would hear whatever noise it is that they make, you know, the quack, quack, quack. You'd hear that all throughout, like, days to come. That's all you'd be hearing at the back of the house. And it was really, really annoying because on the outside, this house looked really nice. It was a really nice house, but it was not usable in some places because the rain would disturb certain things. And so the mold as well, it was just irritating. So I thought it was just that house at first. I thought, okay, when we move, it's going to get better. No, sir, it didn't. It literally just followed us everywhere we went. It would happen. And so I don't really know a way to how to combat the whole mildew situation. If you know, leave me a comment in the comment section. I would love to hear it because this thing disturbed me so much. Like, my washing machine is on every single day just because of it, because I know that, you know, I'm going to look for something to wear. I pick it up, it's got mold on it. It's just like a white film. You'll see it and it'll just be everywhere. It's almost like if you were to have taken clothes, right, semi-dried it, folded it and put it away, and it's packed in a cupboard where, you know, it's tightly packed somewhere, you'd expect that would happen. But no, these clothes are bone dry and it still happens. You still get this film. And it literally can happen on absolutely everything. So I feel like there's a lot of that happens in the air. And that's part of the reason you get sick. It's not just because it's cold outside. I haven't been outside that many times since it's been raining season because I've been busy focusing on work and stuff. But I'm still affected. And I believe it's because there are particles and things within the environment that is just affecting getting sick. And so you'll find that during this period, a lot of people are sick. You'll hear it in their voices, you know, you'll see people sneezing perhaps, you know. When it's warmer here, you don't see it as much. Like, people, like, you don't tend to get those sicknesses that we have in the UK where it's flu season, it's this season, it's that season. Most of the time, someone is sick in your vicinity. Like, you know, it doesn't happen here as much. For the most part, I guess the heat kind of like burns a lot of the germs that would be around. But during this season, it's not like that. It's just not a very nice season. And so you have to protect yourself from these things. So it's important that, you know, you wash things very regularly to make sure that you're not walking around with some of this stuff on your clothes and not realizing. But for the most part, you can kind of smell it if it's there. You'll notice that musty smell. Let me know in the comment section if you have come across it, if it's happened to you. If it's happening to you right now, let me know, because I know that I am not the only one that this is happening to. I remember having some boxes of things, some items here, and I opened it and it's like that same white residue is all over it. Really annoying. Oh, but anyway, that's all I have to say about that, really. As I said, this is a very impromptu video. I did not expect to do it. I was just kind of irritated as I got dressed. I was trying to get dressed this morning and I went to pick up an item and it had it all over it, and I just had to throw it into the wash, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to wear that. But, you know, that's kind of what happens. But anyway, that's the end of that. If you haven't already signed up for the Diaspora Business Hub, I'd love it if you would go ahead, log on to my website. I'll put the details into the description box or pin the comment or something like that. Okay, so if you're in the Diaspora community and you have a business, head over to my website, register your business on there, sign up. It's free. It's just going to be a great place for those of us that are within the diaspora to see other businesses that also exist, you know, services that we perhaps may want to try out, or services that we may want to use for ourselves, or even get some exposure for our own business. Head over there and let's build up this site. Let's build our diaspora community up from there. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to end the video right here. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment and share this video. Until next time, I am out. Nutifafa.